NBC10 News starts now.
Good Monday morning. I'm NBC10's Keith Jones.
And I'm Lucy Bustamante. Look at the snow, guys. This is over in Washington Township, actually, in New Jersey. Let me correct that, New Jersey. NBC10 First Alert meteorologist Bill Henley tracking all of the snow, which really, Bill, it depends where you are.
Yeah, some areas are going to wind up with a tremendous amount of snow. And that South Jersey live picture you just showed, it's sticking to the grass, but it will be sticking to the roads. Meantime, we've seen some light snow at Philadelphia International, but it's very light snowfall. Philadelphia will get snow out of this passing storm, but it is Delaware and South Jersey will take the greatest hit. That is a live view from Wilmington. Look at the wind blowing the tarp, the snow coming down in Wilmington. And Wilmington will see accumulating snow, but the heavier snow will be farther to the south and central Delaware and into South Jersey. Here's the live radar. This is a massive storm. It's going to be with us right on through the morning and for some areas right on through the afternoon as well. The heavier snow expected to stay to the south, and so far, so good. Just some very light snow for the I-95 corridor for Wilmington, Philadelphia, and Trenton. But we will see bands of heavy accumulating snow right on through this morning and for much of the afternoon in Delaware and South Jersey, right where it's falling right now. Speaking of falling, the temperatures have come down. They dropped overnight. We're looking at 20s in the Lehigh valleys and suburbs where it's mainly just dry. The shore getting some snow at 33 degrees and 32 right now in South Jersey and just below freezing in Delaware. Not much change this afternoon, and the temperatures still right at the freezing mark or below for most neighborhoods. The snow avoiding the Lehigh Valley completely. So we have issued a first alert for this winter storm for Philadelphia, which will see light accumulation, but the heavier stuff, New Jersey, the Jersey Shore, and Delaware until 5 o'clock this afternoon. That snow will make for low visibility and hazardous travel too. Keith, Lucy?
So the snow has fallen parts of our area. Let's see how it's impacting traffic with Sheila Watko. Morning, Sheila.
Good morning, Keith. Thank you. So we're seeing some wet roads in Delaware, still in South Jersey. All of our Philly area roads actually still looking good. We're not seeing any big issues right now. 95 South actually looking really quiet right around Cottman Avenue, all the way down through the Vine, the Schuylkill, the Blue Route also looking good. We do have reduced speeds on the New Jersey Turnpike between the Delaware Memorial Bridge up through Route 73 in Mount Laurel, just for preventative measure of that impending snow. That's down to 45 miles per hour. Please be extra careful all day today. Keith, back to you.
Thank you, Sheila. And that snow coming down across South Jersey and Delaware. A live look here at Cape May, where the streets are wet.
Look at that. NBC10's Randy Gyllenhaal. He is in Atlantic City, though, and it is looking a lot whiter there. No doubt about it. Hey, Randy.
Yeah, sounds like the Jersey Shore is going to be getting the jackpot from this storm from Long Beach Island through Atlantic City, Ocean City, south to Cape May. We could see anywhere from 6 to 10 inches of snow. About 4:35 in the morning, it started changing over from that rain into an ice. Right now, these really big snowflakes starting to fall down. A little break, though. We had some heavier bands earlier, but take a look as we zoom in down the Atlantic City boardwalk. It is covered in snow. They actually had some of their plow crews working the boardwalk as well as the streets nearby. I'm looking at the roads. They are somewhat covered, but the boardwalk is getting a lot more accumulation right now. That's because it's colder than the roadways. We had those high temperatures the last couple of days in the 50s, even approaching 60 degrees. Arguably, it was a beach day over the weekend, but now I just walked over to the beach. It is completely covered with snow. The sand replaced by a bunch of that white snow. It's actually a pretty beautiful sight as the sun is coming up this morning, but the next few hours will be tricky, especially on the roadways as that starts to accumulate. A lot of people have off today. That's because so many schools across our area closed for the day. A lot of people not working either. New Jersey's governor issuing a state of emergency because of this snow. It's expected to fall just like this for the next few hours into the afternoon. And again, on the Jersey Shore, on the boardwalk and beaches, we could see anywhere from 6 to even 10 inches of snow by the time this is all said and done. For now, we're live in Atlantic City. I'm Randy Gyllenhaal, NBC10 News.
All right, Randy, thanks. Count on NBC10 and the free NBC10 app for all the details that are changing fast in this forecast. We'll be on the air throughout the morning. We're live right now on the NBC10 app. You can also head to the app for live radar, updated snow totals, and school closing times anytime. Remember, you can watch us also every weekday morning from 4 to 7 a.m. I'm NBC10's Keith Jones.
And I'm Lucy Bustamante. We're going to take you right back to the Today Show. Have a great morning, and we're going to stay on all morning long to stick with you throughout the storm.
NBC10 News starts now.
Good morning once again. I'm NBC10's Lucy Bustamante.
And I'm Keith Jones, 7:56 right now. Look at the boards down there in Atlantic City right now. Snow's really coming down. We're tracking the first major winter storm of the season. Worst of it, of course, hitting South Jersey and Delaware. NBC10 First Alert meteorologist Bill Henley is watching the changing conditions. Hey, Bill.
Yeah, and they are changing rapidly. You showed snow in Atlantic City. We've been seeing lots of rain at Cape May, but now it's more of a wintry mix. The atmosphere is getting colder. Meantime, Philadelphia, we've had a few snowflakes, but nothing significant, and completely dry in the Lehigh Valley, while light snow is falling in Wilmington. This is a storm that is going to have a greater impact in Delaware and South Jersey than farther inland areas. You can see the bands reaching towards Philadelphia. That's some very light snowfall. That's heavy snow in central Delaware, southern Delaware, and into Cape May. Still some mixing, more of a wintry mix in southern Delaware. But this is going to be an all-day affair. The steadier snow this morning will taper off in Philadelphia this afternoon, but it'll still be coming down in Delaware and South Jersey. Then add in the winds, and wherever you are, these gusty winds are going to make it feel quite cold. This afternoon, the temperatures will be in the teens. They'll feel like 19 in Philadelphia, 19 in Reading, and 17 in Atlantic City, while yesterday we were seeing temperatures that were in the 50s and 60s. So our first alert in effect for Philadelphia, which will see light snow, but more heavy snow is due in for New Jersey, the shore, and Delaware too until 5 o'clock this afternoon. Low visibility will result in hazardous travel. Keith, Lucy?
Bill, thanks. Let's turn things over to Sheila Watko, standing by with a look at traffic and how that's affected.
Yeah, thank you, Keith. So we're going to start off with some SEPTA delays. These seem to just be equipment problems across the line that we're seeing. Paley-Thorndale heading towards West Trenton, up to 28 minutes late, almost half an hour. Doylestown running towards Wilmington, up to 10 minutes late. And then bus routes 15 and 21 are also operating with delays. We've seen a lot of bus delays throughout the morning. Those are the most current updates. Whatever you're doing, just check that SEPTA Twitter feed before you head out, because they do have the latest updates on trains, buses, all that good stuff, to make sure you don't have to take an earlier train or you missed your train or whatever. Let's take a look in Dover. This is a really messy area. There's snow that's sticking out there. We see a lot of these roads are seeing delays. Route 1, Route 13, Route 15, Route 10. The worst part is all of these are alternates for each other. So there's not a great other option for you. You can stick to surface roads, but they might be less likely to be salted. At least the highway's going to be more salted. Leave yourself extra time as you head out the door to make sure you can get where you're going if you do have to hit the road and leave the house. On the New Jersey Turnpike, we're still looking pretty good in South Jersey as you're closer to Philly, because Philly is still not seeing a lot of problems on the roads. Between the Delaware Memorial Bridge up to Route 73 and Mount Laurel, those speeds are reduced down to just 45 miles per hour. Speeds are also reduced down the shore. This part of South Jersey looking pretty bad out there. Very messy on the Garden State Parkway, reduced down to just 45 miles per hour from Cape May all the way up past Atlantic City. You can see the Garden State Parkway, Route 9, both of those pretty sloppy out there in both directions. But here's the Philly area looking really good. So it's kind of, it's what's the word? I can't think of the word, but it's
mixed
like
bag.
from, yeah, there you go. Between whatever neighborhoods you're in, whatever parts of the tri-state area you're in. 95 South heading down towards Center City looking good. The Schuylkill looking clear in both directions. The Blue Route 95 in Delaware County, no construction out there to slow us down. So just make sure you're being extra careful, especially if you're closer to the shore or closer to Dover. Lucy, back to you.
All right, Sheila, good advice there. So let's take a look one more time. Wilmington, Delaware. This is our camera at the Blue Rock Stadium there. So this area is going to see a few inches of snow today. Make sure that you grab your boots and get the brush for your car. Lay out the salt if you haven't already, just to make sure that you don't slip and fall on this stuff later.
Very smart. Remember, this morning's storm is all about where you live. We're keeping an eye on it all. NBC 10's Miguel Martinez-Valle live for us in Washington Township, Gloucester County. Another changing picture from when you first came on the air this morning, Miguel, at 4 a.m.
Hey, that's right. Yeah, so the snow's been coming down since about 4:30, right? And it's been coming down pretty consistently. Sometimes it's a little heavier than others, but as you can see behind me here, it's not really sticking to the roadways. We're in Washington Township. Now, the reason that here is a school district canceled all classes today was because of concerns that this would be impacting the morning commute for students trying to get to school around this time. Now, obviously, the roadways still seem pretty clean, but you do want to be safer if you are on the roadways this morning. That being said, school district did cancel all schools and for students and for staff. All extracurriculars today in Washington Township also canceled. Meanwhile, there's a state of emergency in parts of New Jersey, especially closer to the shore points, and then in other parts of South Jersey, there's just a winter weather advisory. So that's what we're dealing with right now as the snow continues to fall throughout the day. Where I am right now in Washington Township, we're expecting anywhere from 3 to 6 inches. So they do have salt standing by, ready to use, but they're covering it right now just because the snow, it seems to go in and out from snow to something a little more wet. They want to make sure they're preserving that salt for when they need it, if they need it to clean the roadways. I'll send it back to you. I'm Miguel Martinez Valle, NBC 10 News.
All right, Miguel, thanks. Count on NBC 10 and the free NBC 10 app for all the details of this winter storm. We'll be updating you on the air all morning long. You can also get live radar, updated snow totals, and school closings on the app anytime. I'm NBC 10's Keith Jones.
And I'm Lucy Bustamante. And we're also monitoring the flights coming in and out of Philly at Philly International as well. Seems to be quiet, but you still have to check all those flights and the cancellations coming up. And the Today Show continues in just a few minutes. You guys have a wonderful day. We'll see you in 30 minutes.
We're going to leave you with a live picture of Washington, D.C. right now. All the snow happening really to the south of Philadelphia. We'll be right back.
NBC 10 News starts now.
Good morning. I'm NBC 10's Lucy Bustamante.
And I'm Keith Jones, 826. If you looked out in Philadelphia, you'd think, oh, there's no storm, but just to the south, boy, oh boy, the amount changes drastically depending on where you are.
That's right. Look behind us. Look at this, guys. Actually, right here on your screen, a completely different story in Wilmington. Just a different scene at Frawley Stadium covered in snow. So we're going to head to the Jersey Shore in just a few moments.
First, let's track the system right now with NBC 10 First Alert Meteorologist Krystal Klei, looking at what to expect and also when to expect it.
Yeah, so you guys were saying huge difference. This is the Atlantic City camera, and you can see snow along the boards here, still coming down at a very steady clip. And now, welcome to the party, Cape May. It's gone from sleet and rain to snow, and look how quickly it's changed over.
Very
I mean,
fast.
this camera was just, I was even surprised at how quickly it changed over, and I've been tracking the snowfall rates. So we're now seeing on roads snow stacking up. Just saw a report in Dover of snowy roads as well, and you can see where the heavy snow is. Look at our visibility map. Totally fine Philly northward. Not great in Wilmington at 3 miles, but fine. But once you get to Dover, you get over to parts of the shore, Atlantic City and Millville, 1 0-mile reports means it's heavy snow that's coming down in those areas. And that's what you see on First Alert radar. So I do want to point out, notice how we're seeing the boundary start to set up. You're seeing this kind of like drop in the radar shading over parts of Maryland, and then it's kind of boosting up near parts of DC and Baltimore. That's what's going to head our direction and fill out. And it's going to be right brushed up against Philly that we have that steady snow line developing. So if you see the line I drew in, that's the difference between several inches and really not much of anything the rest of this morning and into this afternoon. So some light snow right now trying to make its way into Philly. But look at the difference here. Really steady. Vineland to Smyrna, Dover to Morris River. And then as we go down to the shore, the heaviest bands now developing. This is why we're expecting in those areas that 6 to 12 inches of snow by the time everything is said and done, guys.
That is truly impressive, that line right there. All right, Krystal, thank you. Let's get a look at your commute, depending on where you are with Sheila Wacko.
Thank you, Lucy. Unfortunately, the roads are looking worse in Dover. It's just a difficult morning out there on the roadways. A lot of snow sticking to the highways. Route 1 looking bad, Route 13 looking bad. You can see just a mess of yellow and red right here on our map, and all of these are alternates for each other. So there's not even a great option to help you get around this. So if you do have to head out today, leave yourself plenty of extra time, not only to get through this, but also so you're not speeding. You want to stick to those speed limits, especially on a day like today. New Jersey Turnpike, we still have reduced speeds, 45 miles per hour in place between the Delaware Memorial Bridge all the way up to Route 73 in Mount Laurel. The thing is, South Jersey, the closer you are to Philly, not looking bad. However, if we head down the shore, Krystal was talking about this just a few minutes ago, even in Cape May, really messy out there with the snow, and the roadways are reflecting that. So the Garden State Parkway also has reduced speeds down to 45 miles per hour from Cape May all the way up past Atlantic City. You can see Route 9 also looking bad in both directions, just really, really wet out there and potentially dangerous conditions. Delaware, if you're not in Dover, if you're closer to the Pennsylvania state line, it's actually looking good. Definitely wet roads in Wilmington, 95, 495 also wet road situations and some snow sticking to the grass off the side of the roads, but the roadway itself is not seeing any snow accumulation just yet, and we're moving along nicely. Then just over that Pennsylvania state line, 95, as you head past Naaman's Road across that state line, we're actually looking really good, and the roadway actually still looking pretty dry out there. So kind of different situations for all parts of the tri-state area. Wherever you're going, just be prepared to get caught in those wet roads and those snowy roads if it does start happening in your area, and just make sure that you are keeping below the speed limit or stick to the speed limit, being very, very careful today. Keith, back to you.
Good advice, Sheila. Thanks. And take a look at the scene now at the Jersey Shore. If you watched our morning news, you saw the AC boardwalk go from clear to just covered in about an hour.
That's exactly right. And that is where NBC10's Randy Gyllenhaal has been covering the storm for us this morning. Randy, what's it like there now? My goodness, look at that snowfall.
Yeah, so the winds are really picking up, blowing this icy snow. It's like icy snowballs hitting your face, but it's blowing it around left and right because we're right off the Atlantic Ocean, and we're seeing wind gusts 20, 30 miles per hour or more that will pick up throughout the day. As you can see, the boards here in Atlantic City, they're completely covered by snow at this point, and they have been for a few hours. And if we look off to the beach there, that is the sand turned white, and then take a look at the surf beyond it, just ripped up by all of these really heavy winds and this coastal storm that is slowly creeping its way up. And it's causing almost really difficult conditions out here, to visibility down to almost nothing. Can't see the AC skyline very well, and we're not seeing a lot of people walking their dogs on the beach this morning, which is pretty crazy because when you think about it, 2 days ago with highs in the 50s or 60s, it was basically a beach day out here in late December, and now early January we're seeing a lot of snow falling, and this is just the beginning. When we talk about 6 to 10 inches, that means this is going to be like this for the rest of the morning into the afternoon. Wow. The beaches and boards covered, the roads are up next, and we're already seeing a lot of them get some accumulation. So the Garden State Parkway, the AC Expressway will be really difficult this morning as the snow continues to fall, and this is really intense accumulation, so it's going to get worse over the next few hours, making driving really difficult. For now, we're live in AC on the beach. Randy Gyllenhaal, NBC10 News.
All right, Randy, thanks. And count on NBC10 and the free NBC10 app for all the details on this changing forecast. We'll be on the air throughout the morning. Also live on the NBC10 app, so make sure you download it.
That's right. And you can also get the app specifically for the radar. It's really cool to see the difference in the area right now. We're going to have the updated snow totals and then, of course, the school closings. A little bit of an extended winter break here for the kids.
Yeah.
I'm NBC10's Lucy Bustamante.
And I'm Keith Jones. Look behind us here. Another look at AC. That's the boardwalk right there. Low visibility, too. As Sheila said, be careful out there on the roads. Back to the Today Show now. Have a safe day.
Bye.
NBC10 News starts now.
Good Monday morning. I'm NBC10's Keith Jones.
And I'm Lucy Bustamante. 8:56 right now. We are in a first alert for a winter storm that moved in really early this morning. In fact, in some areas, it's going to be around all day long.
Absolutely. One of the places the storm system will likely linger is the Jersey Shore. Right now, the AC boardwalk in the beach is covered in snow. In fact, it's hard to even see down there, so be careful on the roads.
And now let's take a look in Delaware. This is Frawley Stadium, guys. Another snow-covered scene. But if you're sitting in Philadelphia, you're probably surprised that there's really not a lot of it because here there's nothing. Let's get over to NBC10 First Alert meteorologist Krystal Klei is tracking the storm right now. And really, Krystal, we usually see the opposite.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Usually it's not Cape May and Atlantic City that have the best live camera views, but that's what we've got right now. Cape May, New Jersey, it's hard to even see Beach Ave here because we are looking at that snow really coming down at a heavy clip at this point. In fact, in Atlantic County, now the National Weather Service has sent over 2 storm reports. Absecon at 2.3 inches and then Estelle Manor at 3 inches of snow so far. And remember, this still has many an hour to go. So that's why we've got those high snow totals in that 6 to 12 inch range expected for those neighborhoods. There's a look at NBC10 First Alert radar. Mostly it's a light snow just south of Philly and into parts of Newcastle County, kind of brushing up against Wilmington. But I do expect this is going to bump a little farther north over the next hour or two. So by around 9:30, 10:30 in the morning, that's when you should start to see a little bit of a better snow rate even in Philly. It's not going to be the same intensity, though, as farther south. Look at Vineland, Smyrna, Morris River to Mullica Township. These are areas where we've got a nice steady snow and then some heavy bands that we're seeing along the shore, which is why you're seeing that live camera really soaked in snow. And look at that, 1 to 2 inch per hour rates sitting just off to the southwest of us. That's moving our direction. Follow the arrows. Those are the spots where we could see near a foot of snow by the time everything is done. guys.
Wow. All right, Krystal, thanks for the update there. Now let's get you checking your commute with NBC 10 First Alert traffic reporter Sheila Watko.
Thank you, Lucy. It is really, really messy out there on the roads in Dover. It just keeps getting worse every time I check back in with you guys. They look a little worse out there. It's really slippery. Bad situation on Route 1, Route 13, Route 10, Route 15, Route 8. All of them are looking really bad right now, and they're all alternates for each other. So please, please be extra careful out there. Also, if you can take, well, I would say take smaller side roads. They might not even be salted. So stick to the major roads, but leave yourself a lot of extra time, and please be careful out there. Down the shore, the Garden State Parkway heading southbound, a little bit past exit 12, the left lane is blocked with a crash. We've got the right lane and the center lane, so 2 lanes total to get by, but it's jammed in both directions just because everyone's taking their time and just having trouble getting through all of this slippery mess that's accumulated on the roads down the shore. Garden State Parkway northbound between 322, the right lane is blocked with yet another crash. Also, I just saw a report, Route 40, both directions in Egg Harbor Township, west of the AC Expressway, is actually flooded and all lanes are closed there. And then also on the Garden State Parkway, because of all of this, we have reduced speeds down to 45 miles per hour from Cape May all the way heading north up past Atlantic City. The good news, I thought I had one last graphic there. I don't. The Philly area, as Krystal was saying, you'd be surprised area as well. Keith, back to you.
All right, Sheila, thanks. Let's stick to South Jersey right now. You can see the snow falling there this morning.
Look how hard it was coming down. This is Washington Township a little bit earlier today. NBC 10's Miguel Martinez-Valle is there right now looking really cold. Miguel, show us what it's like.
Hey guys, yeah, so Washington Township, the snow's actually coming down a little bit stronger, a little bit faster right now. Visibility has gone down quite a bit in the last hour, actually. You can see it's still not accumulating much on the roadways, but it is making it harder to see long distances. So that's going to be a challenge to look out for this morning if you do have to take the roads. Obviously, the suggestion is to stay off, though. Parts of South Jersey have a snow emergency from the governor. Other parts have a winter weather advisory. So here where we are, Washington Township, we're expecting to get anywhere from 3 to 6 inches of snow. That's why schools were canceled today in Township School District. So for students and for staff, all extracurriculars were also canceled just as the snow continues to fall. I can tell you we've seen a few plows, but nobody's been actually, no plows on the ground because it hasn't been necessary. The roadways, the snow's still melting every time it hits them. So that is what we're seeing here. If you see over there, you can see they're kind of standing by these different cleaning vehicles in case they're needed later. But, you know, right now, if you're driving, the roadways are clear. Again, the visibility, that's what's low. That's what you're going to want to look out for. I'll send it back to you guys. I'm Miguel Martinez-Valle, NBC 10 News.
All right, Miguel, thanks. Count on NBC 10 and the free NBC 10 app for all the details on this winter storm. That's where you can check out some of the same radar that the First Alert Weather Team uses to track this system. If anything big happens, we'll update you there and also here on the air. I'm NBC 10's Keith Jones.
And I'm Lucy Bustamante. We're going to take you right back to the Today Show that's already in progress, but make sure you download the app, especially on a day like today. Look at that. Have a great day, guys.
Now, your NBC 10 First Alert weather.
Good afternoon. You could say we have half of a snowstorm. North of Philadelphia, practically nothing. To the south and toward the shore, near blizzard conditions reported by some folks. That's the Atlantic City live report. Below freezing, everything is sticking. This is the live shot in Philadelphia. And if you look more toward the west, you're seeing clearing. It is quite a change across the area. 33 in Philadelphia, but the snow is mostly South Jersey, Jersey Shore, and Delaware. The wind chills are in the teens. Remember, we were in the 60s yesterday. This was the back edge of the snow just like 5 minutes ago or so when I put that on. And you could see the back edge starting to move to the south. That's a sign of the storm starting to move out. We still have some light snow up across Lancaster County and Chester County, and pockets of heavy snow in much of Delaware and in South Jersey. That continues. It's a fairly quick moving system. You can see the drier air has replaced the snow in western Virginia, but this is a heavy, wet snow, and we're seeing quite a bit of accumulation. Heavy, wet snow. This can cause power outages. That's what's happening in Maryland. But the Baltimore visibility has gone up tremendously just in the last half hour. That's a sign. Aberdeen, Maryland, higher visibility, lighter snow. Philadelphia, higher visibility, lighter snow. But look at Dover and Georgetown, Delaware, and Wildwood and Atlantic City, very low visibility. They're still getting heavy snow. So this is a tremendous cutoff that we're seeing here from north to south. Visibility is closer to zero in Dover, Georgetown, Wildwood, Atlantic City, 1 mile in Toms River. But unlimited visibility is north of Philadelphia, where a lot of folks haven't even seen a flake. This is the futurecast. The general trend toward moving this thing out is happening and will continue. That's 2 o'clock. So the snow is pretty close to being over from Philly straight westward. Baltimore, Washington, it's over by 2 or 3. And then it's still snowing at the shore at 4 o'clock, and southern Delaware, 4. Now that's 3 more hours of heavy snow. So there are going to be some places at the shore or close to the shore that have a foot or more by the time this is over. And again, heavy wet snow, the strongest winds, power outages are likely. The snow totals as of 11:45 or so, 7 inches so far in Woodside, Delaware, up to Summers Point, 6 inches in Millington, Delaware, and Central Delaware. There's no need to shovel north of Philly. You can shovel as the snow ends, because as the sun goes down, everything's going to ice up, and you're not going to be able to do it easily tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning's high tide. That's when we have the moderate coastal flooding. That's another issue. So the snow weakens after 2, gusts 25 to 35, and remember, icy roads likely tonight. We'll be back with another update in 1 hour.
Your NBC 10 First Alert Weather Update.
Good afternoon. We often talk about big contrasts across the area. This tops the list. This is pretty incredible. That's a live picture of Philadelphia. We're looking to the northwest. Some snow on the roof, but the roads generally fine. That's a live picture of Atlantic City. The boardwalk, you can barely see. It's colder, 29 degrees, and they're continuing to get buried in snow. Yet, at the Lehigh Valley, the sun is out at 29 degrees. We still have the heavy snow at the shore and in other parts of South Jersey. I drew this line an hour ago to show the back edge of the snow, and now this is the current line. So it's obvious that the snow is ending from northwest to southeast. Northern Delaware, now out of it. Philadelphia, now out of it. And anywhere west of I-95 or I-295 is pretty much out of it too. You can see the back edge ending from west to east, ending pretty quickly. So this is a quick mover. The intensity was pretty amazing, but it is weakening. An hour ago, Baltimore was still getting some pretty significant snow. Now the visibility, that tells you how heavy the snow is. The higher the visibility, the lighter is the snow. When you get 10 miles, it's pretty much nothing. And that's the case. Aberdeen and Maryland, that gives us a clue as to what's coming into the Philadelphia area. Practically unlimited visibility. But Dover, Georgetown, still heavy, and it's still low visibility in eastern Delaware, so they're going to have at least another hour or so of heavier snow in central and southern Delaware. At the Jersey Shore, they're still having very low visibilities. Heavy snow continues to accumulate. This is what it's going to look like in about a half hour. You can see nothing left. In Philadelphia, west of the Jersey Turnpike, there's 3 o'clock. Here's 4 o'clock. You know, it's a little slow to leave the Jersey Shore. Plus, that's where the strongest winds are. So it is a major, major snowstorm for them. But from Philadelphia northward, not much. We got our first 10-inch snowfall report, Northfield, New Jersey, just outside of Atlantic City. Atlantic City Airport, 9.5 inches and still coming down hard. Cape May, 8.2. And then in parts of Delaware, 5 to 8 inches of snow. And in central and southern Delaware, it's still coming down. No need to shovel north of the Pennsylvania Turnpike. If there is any snow to shovel, you can go right ahead in Philadelphia, northern Delaware, because it's pretty much over. And you want to try to shovel as soon as possible, as soon as the snow ends, because it's going to get cold tonight and everything is going to freeze up. We also have the risk of the coastal flooding, moderate flooding coming tomorrow morning, as if the shore needed to get hit any harder. They've got heavy snow, they've got gusty winds, you're going to have coastal flooding. From Philadelphia northward, not much of a storm at all. We'll be back in just an hour.
Your NBC 10 First Alert Weather Update.
Good afternoon. An update on this winter storm. It's not much of a storm from Philadelphia northward. As you can see, they're flying out right on schedule. But at the shore, it is a major snowstorm, 27 degrees. You can't even see in Atlantic City right now. This was the back edge of the snow 2 hours ago. This was the back edge an hour ago. And the back edge now, you can see it continues to end from northwest to southeast. It's doing it a little more slowly down toward the Jersey Shore. So this snow is going to continue for a while. And South Jersey, from Millville down toward the shore, and in Kent and Sussex counties in Delaware. So it's not quite over yet. The storm itself continues to move out. Drier air moves in from the west, colder air. Now, the visibility tells us how heavy the snow is. When you get 10 miles, that means it's over Baltimore, Aberdeen, Reading, Philadelphia. But look at the visibility in Dover, and Georgetown, and Salisbury. Very low. Same thing with the Jersey Shore. That is still heavy, accumulating snow happening. We have reports of over a foot of snow already in areas near the shore and in southern Delaware. So this is a major storm for parts of the area. It's pretty amazing. We're not even a flake in many areas north of the Pennsylvania Turnpike, but look at it move out by 5 o'clock. It's pretty much to the coast, and then it goes offshore. No need to shovel in much of Pennsylvania, but as soon as the snow ends, I recommend shoveling, because everything's going to freeze up tonight. It gets very windy. And it's also going to be another case of moderate flooding tomorrow morning at the shore, so they get hit doubly. We'll be back with a complete update on NBC 10 News at 4.